Matthew 2, 5-6. They told him in Bethlehem, Judea, for so it is written by the prophet, and you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for from you shall come a ruler who will govern my people Israel. So, question. Is Matthew making it up? Is Matthew making it up that the Jewish scribes believed Micah 5:2 was a prophecy of the birthplace of Messiah? No. Chabad.org, an ultra-Orthodox Jewish website, provides their own translation of the Old Testament with the commentary of Rashi. Rashi was a medieval rabbi who opposed Christianity. Even Rabbinic Judaism acknowledges Micah 5:2 is a prophecy of the birthplace of Messiah. And these are later rabbinic quotations. You would think, since Christians are quoting Micah 5:2 to prove that Jesus being born in Bethlehem is the king, they would change their interpretation. They didn't. Here it is. You Bethlehem Ephrathah, from you shall emerge for me who? The Messiah, son of David. Even later rabbis who hate Christianity admit Micah 5:2 is a prophecy of the birthplace of Messiah. They couldn't deny it. Right there. You see it? When even your enemies admit you're right, you win. Matthew was not lying. Matthew was correct. This is what the Jews believed. And where was Jesus born? Exactly where the prophet said. Bethlehem of Judea. Now, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem, Judea, and Luke confirms it, Luke 2, 1-7. All right, but according to this prophecy, this human ruler, is he merely human? No, he's the God-man. This is why you got to be careful of translation. Sadly, some translations suck. New King James Version is excellent. New American Bible 1995 edition is excellent. And King James. Other translations suck. Let me show you. Okay. According to Micah, this human ruler born in Bethlehem, he's an eternal being who comes from eternity, steps into time, who's been there from the beginning, actively involved from the beginning, who becomes man from a woman. In other words, he's the God-man. But you, Bethlehem, Ephrathah, though you are little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of you shall come forth to me the one to be ruler in Israel, whose goings forth, meaning his activity. Goings forth is plural, meaning he's been active. He's been going in and coming out, coming in, going out. Repeatedly, from old, from everlasting. His goings forth are from long ago, from the days of eternity. He's an eternal, divine person who's been there from the beginning, who's been active from the beginning, who then later will be born in Bethlehem to be a human Israelite to rule. Now notice, he's eternal, right? And he's been there from the beginning. That's exactly what we believe with Jesus. He's been appearing throughout the Old Testament. But then he'll be born from a woman to be a human Davidic Israelite king. And born where? Bethlehem. Therefore, he shall give them up, hand over the Jews, until the time that she who's in labor has given birth. See? Born of a woman. Born of a woman. We know who that is, the Holy Virgin. Then the remnant of his brethren, she makes him a human Israelite, making Israel his brethren, shall return to the children of Israel. He shall stand and feed his flock, and the strength of the Lord, Yahweh, God will be with him, because he's not the Father. He is one with the Father, becomes man. When he becomes man, the Father becomes his God. And the majesty of the name of the Lord is God, and they shall abide, for now he shall be great to the ends of the earth. So a prophet writing about 700 years before the birth of Christ says, the king born in Bethlehem, born of a woman, to become a human Davidic Israelite, is actually a figure who's more than human because he's been there from the beginning. He's been active from the beginning because he's from eternity. The God-man. You understand? Jesus being born in Bethlehem, fulfilling Micah 5:2, is more proof that the Holy Mother carried and gave birth to God Almighty, the Eternal One, the one who has no beginning, gave birth to him in the flesh. Well, what about their gifts? This is where it's going to get shocking. What about their gifts? If you're paying attention. Let's look at their gifts. Okay. They worshipped him. Opening their treasures, they gave him gifts, gold and frankincense. Gold and frankincense and myrrh. I'm going to shock you now. The word frankincense. I'm now going to show you that the Magi knew the king is God in the flesh and would die a vicarious death. They knew this. You think I'm lying? They gave him myrrh, which is what you use to bury dead bodies. They gave him frankincense, which is the incense you give in worship to God. And they gave him gold, which is a tribute you give to a king. So they're acknowledging he's king, he's God who will die. How did Matthew 2:11. Frankincense. Libanun. Libanun. Libanos. Let me show you what's used for. Okay. Libanus. Where is it used? Let me show you. Frankincense. Leviticus 2, chapter 2, Isaiah 60, verse 6. Right? Matthew 2:11. Now look at the note here. The term Libanus refers to frankincense, a fragrant resin obtained from trees of the genus Boswellia in the New Testament. It is primarily associated with offerings and worship, symbolizing prayer and the divine presence. Refers to frankincense used in the context of offerings and worship in the Old Testament. Frankincense, cultural historical background, was a highly valued commodity in the ancient world, often used in religious rituals and as a luxury item. Now watch, even this lexicon tells you, this means they knew he's God. It is one of the gifts brought by the Magi, to Jesus, signifying his priestly role and divine nature. In Jewish tradition, frankincense was a key component of the incense used in the temple, representing prayers of the people ascending to God. Now watch why you need a Greek version of the Old Testament. But first of all, let me connect it with here, because I'm going to show you the Greek wording for this. Isaiah 60, verse 6. Greek wording. Let me use Legacy Standard Bible for this one. Find it. Isaiah 60, verse 6. A multitude of camels will cover you. The young camels of Midian and Ephah. All those from Sheba will come. What they will do? They will bring gold and frankincense and will bear good news of the praises of Yahweh. So they're going to come in camels. Yemenites, Sheba, Midianites, right? From Midian, Ephah. They will bring you gold and frankincense as their worship of Yahweh. What did they bring to Jesus? Gold and frankincense. Well, let's see what the word frankincense is. Verse 6. And the camels of Medium and Gaifa shall cover thee. All from Saba shall come bearing gold and shall bring frankincense. They shall publish the salvation of the Lord. Okay, let's see what the word frankincense is. You ready? Get ready. Same Greek word. Lebanon. Same Greek word. Leviticus. Let's see if it's used there. For the incense that the priest offered to God in the temple. Is it the word Lebanon? Lebanus? Lebanu? Let's see. Different forms of the Greek word. Leviticus 2. Okay. Leviticus 2. And if a soul will bring a gift, a sacrifice to the Lord, his gift shall be fine flour. He shall pour oil upon it, shall put frankincense on it. Now watch again, right here. Verse 2. It will be frankincense. This is sacrifice to the Lord in the temple, right? What's the word? Frankincense. Lebanon. Is it clear or no? Lebanon. What about in verse 2? Is it Lebanon? Lebanon. Frankincense. How about in verses 15 and 16? And thou shalt pour oil upon it and shalt put frankincense on it. And then again, frankincense in verse 16, right? Okay. Lebanon. Ton Lebanon. What did they give Jesus? What did they give Jesus? Gold, Lebanon, frankincense. Oh, but wait, myrrh. Myrrh. They gave him myrrh. Now, what's beautiful about the word myrrh? It comes from the word Smyrna. Smyrna. Does that sound familiar? Revelation 2, verses 8 to 11. The angel of the church of Smyrna was blessed because he was one of two angels, and this was one of two churches that Jesus praised for remaining faithful and not faltering. He praised them. But he told the angel and the Christians, be careful because you'll be tested and thrown in prison. And some of you will have to endure to death and they'll receive the crown of life. And when that was written, the angel of that church was Polycarp, the disciple of the apostle John, who was the bishop, who at the age of 86 was in prison, burned, and then killed by the sword because he refused to deny Jesus. Smyrna. Smyrna. Okay, but hold on. Where's this word used? Smyrna is what they used. Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus used Smyrna to prepare Jesus' body for burial. Smyrna, myrrh, Smyrnis. John 19:39. See it? That's what they used. How did the Magi know all this? All right. How did the Magi know all this about Jesus? They gave him myrrh. It was what you used to prepare dead bodies. They gave him incense, frankincense, which is the incense given to God as an act of worship. Gold, tribute to a king. Here it is. John 19:39. Came now also Nicodemus, the one having come to him by night at the first, bearing a mixture of myrrh and aloes, right? Myrrh, Smyrnas, aloes, about litras 100. And then they buried Jesus in Joseph's tomb. So now the real question is, how did they know all this about Jesus? Because I'm going to show you something about the word Magi. You ready? Magi. The wise men, I should say. What does the word wise men mean? Okay. Let's go here, verse 10. I want you to see the word for Magi, because now it's going to connect with Daniel, and we're almost done. With Daniel. All right. They came to worship who? King of the Jews, right? Magi. 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 Okay? See the word? Magi, Magi. Once again, you need the Greek version of the Old Testament. Why? Who are the Magi? Let's see. Magi. 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 So why some Bibles will say Magi. Now, who are they? Uh-oh, spaghetti. Oh. I'm going to tell you who they are. If I can find Daniel. Shoot. Watch here. I'm going to show it to you. Ready? Here's the word. Majus. Majus. Who are the Majus? Who are the Majus? All right. Wiser, and in every matter of wisdom and knowledge wherein the king questioned them, he found them 10 times wiser, 10 times wiser than who? Enchanters, sorcerers. The Magi are the magicians and sorcerers, tous Majus, of the time of Daniel. They were there at the time of Daniel. See it? Still not convinced, huh? Okay, let me show you. Still not convinced? Daniel 2:2. And the king gave orders to call the enchanters and the magicians and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans, and Daniel became their leader. Who are chanters, magicians, sorcerers? Who are the magicians? Tous Majus, the Magi. Are you seeing it? It's right there. The magicians, they are the Magi. The Magi, Majus. They were there at the time of Daniel. It's a class of astrologers. You get it? Okay, let me show you. Here it is again. Daniel 2:10. Okay. Enchanter, magician. Majun. Majun. Magi. They're there at Daniel's time. Here they are again. Daniel 2:27. Daniel answered the king and said, the mystery, right? Wise men, magicians. Majun. Magi. Magi, Chaldeans, right? Sorcerers, who were blown away with the revelation that God gave to Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, causing them to realize their God is a true God, and they submitted to Daniel. All right, so the enchanters, magicians, Magi, same word as in Matthew. Same word. Same word. Now let's go to the next chapter. Final one. Verse 7, right? And the king cried aloud to bring in the magicians, Chaldeans, soothsayers. Chaldeans, right? Okay. Magicians. Majus. Magus. And there they go again. Look how many times. Now in verse 11. Magicians. The Majun. Magun. I don't know how to pronounce it. And then again. 14. Sorry. 15. See? Getting old. Magicians, Magi, same word. Are you making the connection? Who are the Magi? Who are the Magi? You saw it? Do you guys see it? The Magi are the magicians living in the East from Iraq and Iran. And this group has been around long before Christ was born, because at the time of Daniel, there were Magi. These Magi saw the God of Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, do things that blew them away, humbled them to realize their God is a true God, because he can reveal things our gods cannot, and we cannot compare to their wisdom. And Daniel was made their leader. Yeah. So then how do they know all of this about the king, that he's God who would die? Because Daniel, who was their head, would have told them. What do I mean? They would have read, or they would have been instructed by Daniel about the prophecies, because they would have been convinced his God is the real God, and they would have passed on the revelation telling them the Jews are going to have a king arise who is God in the flesh, but he would also die vicariously. Where am I getting this from? Here you go. It is. Daniel 7:13 and 14. I kept looking in the night visions, and behold, with the clouds of heaven, one like a son of man was coming, and he came up to the Ancient Days, and came near before him, And to him was given dominion, glory, and a kingdom, that all the peoples, nations, and men of every tongue might serve him. I thought it was NIV. Let me go to NIV for this one. There's your answer, folks. You got it? They knew the prophecies of Daniel. They saw that the God of Daniel is real and almighty, and no one can rival him because his servants do things that they couldn't do, showing their gods were nothing. Go read the book of Daniel. And he was leader of them. And what do you think Daniel's going to be doing? He's going to be making known to them the relations of his God. And you better make sure and believe, to have no doubt, that they would have taken a copy of his prophecies. Right? Andre, no, that's not the same connection. The Egyptians are something else. In my night vision, Daniel 7:13-14, at night I looked, and there before me was one like a son of man, coming with the clouds of heaven. He approached the Ancient of Days and was led into his presence. He was given authority, glory, and sovereign power. All nations, that includes the Persians, the Medes, the Parthians, the Elamites, the Assyrians, Chaldeans, Babylonians, all of them, the Magi, and peoples of every language and all languages worshipped him. See, he would have told them about this one. His dominion is a lasting dominion that will not pass away, and his kingdom is one that will never be destroyed. And they were convinced because they saw the miracles as God did. His God is going to raise up a king who is God in the flesh. Why? Because from their pagan background, they knew that it was something that gods did. Riding the clouds of heaven was something that gods did. And even pagan religions, it was a function of the gods to ride the clouds of heaven. Like among the Canaanites, the false god Baal, he was called the rider of the clouds. So when he's telling them, one like a son of man, meaning he's human, but more than human, he will ride the clouds of heaven. Oh, so he's God appearing as a man. And his reign is forever, and everyone better worship him or else. So that one. What about his death? Right here, mentioned. And by the way, I'm going to show you that even the rabbis tied this in with Messiah. Daniel 9:20-24, and we'll be done. While I was speaking and praying, confessing my sin, the sin of my people Israel, making my request to the Lord my God for his holy hill, while I was still in prayer, Gabriel, the man I had seen in the earlier vision, came to me in swift flight about the time of the evening sacrifice. Right? He instructed me and said to me, Daniel, I have now come to give you insight and understanding. As soon as you began to pray, a word went out, which I have come to tell you. Now, I've done sessions on the timeline, and I have articles, so don't ask me about it. I'll show you where to find it. But in a nutshell, look what Daniel was told and how it connects with the Messiah, which I have come to tell you, for you are highly esteemed. Therefore, consider the word and understand the vision. 70 sevens means 70 times 7 years. Because Daniel's thinking in terms of years. Because earlier he talked about Jeremiah saying they'd be in captivity for 70 years. So 70 times 7 means 490 years. Go 77. 70 times 7 years, 490 years are decreed. God is going to accomplish the following within the next 490 years. What is he going to do in the next 490 years? And when will it begin? Okay. For your people in your holy city, during this period, he's going to do away with sin. He's going to obliterate transgression. He's going to put a stop to sin during this period. He's going to make atonement for wickedness. And during this period, he's going to bring in everlasting righteousness. And he's going to seal up vision and prophecy. What that means is he's going to fulfill the prophecies and visions. They will all be fulfilled during this period. and anoint the most holy place. Now, the Hebrew of Daniel 9 doesn't have place. It can mean the most holy one or holy place. So what is he going to do within these 490 years? Watch. No one understands this. From the time the word goes out to restore and rebuild Jerusalem. So the 490 years is going to start when a decree is made, go back, rebuild Jerusalem. And from the time of the decree and until the Messiah, the anointed ruler, Mashiach Nagid comes, there'll be 7 sevens, 62 sevens, meaning there'll be 483 years from the time the word says rebuild Jerusalem and Messiah shows up. So count 483 years. So Daniel's telling them, when the decree goes, count 483 years later, Messiah will show up. 7 times 7 is 49 years. 62 sevens is 434. If you add 434 and 49, that's 483 years. You see how precise it is? Now, Daniel didn't understand this. And he's told, it's not for you to figure it out, Daniel. You just write it. Okay, watch. So, Jerusalem will be rebuilt with streets and a trench, but in times of trouble. When the Jews go back to rebuild Jerusalem, it will be in troublesome times because they'll still be under foreign occupation and persecution. And that's exactly what happened. After the 62 sevens, meaning after the 483 years, when Messiah shows up, look what's going to happen to him. He will be put to death. Oh, that's where they got the anointed ruler, the Messianic king, will die. Daniel said it. But then what will happen? What will happen? He will then be killed. See it? Right there. It's there. That when he's killed, what's going to happen? The people of the ruler who will come will destroy the city and sanctuary. He now announces that Jerusalem temple will be destroyed a second time. Notice, Messiah will be killed, then the ruler of the people will come and raise up his people to destroy the city and sanctuary. Now here, the ruler is not the emperor of Rome. The ruler is the Messiah. What does it mean? Just like God used Nebuchadnezzar, a pagan. God used Cyrus, a pagan. God used pagan rulers to punish his people, Israel. Go read. Sennacherib, Syrian king. Nebuchadnezzar, Babylonian king. Cyrus. God will then use the Romans. They are his people, meaning his instrument of punishing the Jews, destroying their city and sanctuary, just like he did with Nebuchadnezzar, whom he called my servant. So the ruler, the Messiah, as part of the judgment that he's going to inflict on the Jews for rejecting him and having him killed, he's going to raise up the people to destroy the city and the sanctuary. The end will come like a flood. War will continue until the end, and desolations have been decreed. He, the Messiah, will confirm a covenant with many for 1 7. Now, here's the last 7 years of the 490. This is not referring to the second coming. It's referring to him confirming the covenant that he made with Israel, where he warned them, if you break the law, I will bring judgment and wrath and curses. So by doing what they did to Messiah, he confirmed the covenant, its judgments and threats, by having the city and the temple destroyed. And how long will it take? 7. In the middle of the 7, in the midpoint, he'll put an end to sacrifice and offering. And at the temple, he will set up an abomination that causes desolation. Meaning, by bringing up the Romans, the pagans, he's going to allow them to defile the temple until the end. That is decreed, is poured out on them. Now watch. He says he's going to confirm what the covenant said for a period of 7 years. And what did the covenant say? It's in Daniel 9. That if you break the law and sin against God, he's going to bring punishment, destruction, and exile. Here, right here. So you don't think I'm lying. All Israel, Daniel 9, 11 and 13. All Israel has transgressed your law and turned away, refusing to obey you. Therefore, the curses and sworn judgments written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, have been poured out on us. You see what it means to confirm the covenant? Because we have sinned against you. Do you understand now what it means? That the ruler, the Messiah, is going to confirm the covenant, meaning he's going to confirm the threats and curses he swore with his people, that if you fail to honor me and disobey me and break the covenant, I will bring wrath and destruction on you and exile. You have fulfilled the words spoken against us and against our rulers by bringing on us great disaster. Under the whole heaven, nothing has ever been done like what has been done to Jerusalem. Just as it is written in the law of Moses, all the disasters come on us. Yet we have not sought the favor of the Lord our God by turning from our sins and giving attention to your truth. Now, do you understand what it means, right? Yeah, Eric, me too. When I was a dispensationalist, it's not, because I'm going to show you how it all is perfectly fulfilled in 70 AD. Watch it now. Now, you understand what it means? He will confirm. Because now get ready to see. Daniel wrote this before Jesus was born. There was no human possibility for him to be this accurate, because I'm going to show you. Daniel was long dead. And everything he said happened. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. A week of years, 7, right? That ruler will have a firm agreement with many people for 7 years. Yeah, okay. But you get the idea, right? A week of years. Now watch how it's all fulfilled in 70 AD. You ready? 1 week of years. 1 week, meaning week of years, meaning 7 years. Okay, watch. So for 7 years, he's going to show them that the threats of the covenant that are found in the covenant will fall on them, showing that God is faithful to punish and bless. And how long is he going to do it? For 7 years. Now, guess what? Don't take my word for it, guys. Google it right here. The Jewish war, when the Romans came up against the Jews, it's called the Jewish Wars. Look how long it lasted. From 66, let me see, 70, 71, 72, 70. Yeah, for 7 years. The Jewish war, it lasted exactly 7 years. Did you notice the prophecy said in the middle of that 7, he would stop, and at the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice in relation to cease. He would stop it in the midpoint. Well, guess what? The temple was destroyed 70 AD, right? Temple destroyed 70 AD. And that's the midpoint, which is the middle of the 7 years. Exactly like Daniel said. That's when the sacrifices stopped, because the temple was destroyed. So you guys who try to take this as referring to the Antichrist and making a covenant, you're butchering the text. Don't use this for the end times. It's all about 70 AD, where God is now done with Israel, and now he works covenantally through the church. He will confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, in the middle of the week. You tell me this is a coincidence? And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. In the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice to stop. You got it? It's all about 70 AD. The Jewish war lasted 7 years, 66 to 73 AD. And a lot of astral signs accompanied the destruction of Jerusalem. People talk about seeing spiritual entities in the sky or comets, things that they took as omens heralding a great disaster. And when was the temple destroyed, Miriam? 70 AD. When did the sacrifice stop? 70 AD. That's the middle of the week. And how could Daniel accurately say, when Messiah comes, he'll be killed, cut off. Afterwards, temple city destroyed. And then that ruler, Messiah, will show judgment for the people who had him killed by raising up the Romans, his people, for 7 years to inflict all the curses and the judgment found in that covenant, the warnings in that covenant, and then stop the sacrifice in the midpoint, which is what happened in 70 AD. Now, did you see how the Magi knew all this? How did the Magi know Jesus is God, King, and that he died? Daniel means the Magi trusted the God of Daniel and knew that Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego were true servants of the true God because they were able to interpret and do things they couldn't do and their gods couldn't do. And that convinced them, we got to take this God seriously. And you better believe that Daniel's preaching to them and the prophecies he's making known to them. And so they passed it on. So there you go.